It's good to see you. Good morning, TK.
Good morning.
Busy morning, I imagine, for you.
You got stuff going on today? You got something planned?
No, I think
I'm just gonna hang
a little
out.
race happening at 12:45.
Yeah.
It's been a morning, but it's the Indy500, right?
It's been a month.
It has been a month, and
How
Charlie,
do
we
you feel
talked
about your month as a team?
Feel good. I mean, I think you and I can attest to it. It can be a long month, a short month, but it's always a great month. I think as a team we delivered up to expectations. I mean, am I greedy when I eat all 4 cars in the top 12? But Pato's first time in the front row, first Mexican, the first time for the team since we acquire Schmidt-Peterson. So so far so good. I'm being extra busy. As you all know, I'm the backup. I was the backup driver. Hopefully, that's gone of Kyle. And then trying to juggle both. I've never done it in my life, and I don't think it will ever happen again. But it was not. This morning, they put the Kanaan to open the gates. Now they decided to do some fireworks. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like thunder.
Just in case you weren't awake.
Yeah, but I was like, it cannot be raining. But yeah, enjoying it.
This first month of May for you as team principal of Arrow McLaren, you've been in some different roles with this team over the last couple years. What has this month of May been like for you?
I don't think it was much different. I was always involved with the team, and it's the role is different. But I think it was more of a adjusting what should I not say or what should I not get involved anymore. And then the dynamic of the other hand, all the other commitments that I never had kept me busy as well. So away from the team a little bit. So it was an adjustment as far as trying to calm people down. My job nowadays is more controlling people's head than anything else. I don't need to tell Pato how to drive. Charlie was, we talked about getting Charlie to help us in the team. Is more to keep everybody sane. And then my biggest job in the team nowadays is actually don't panic when Friday is that windy and your car is not good, and you don't have to do a qualify run, and not just with the drivers but also engineers and the mechanics. I mean, we spend a lot of time together during the year, but this environment is the longest we do every day, all day long, and people get irritated, happy, unhappy. You know what I mean?
So you've got 4 thoroughbreds as drivers going for the win today. Do you feel like each of those drivers has a unique and different shot at winning? Do you feel like all 4 cars have as good a shot? Can you pick a favorite child that maybe's got a little bit of odds today?
I mean, let's face it, Pato is the most experienced, and it's his due. So if I had to pick one, I'll pick Pato. And then if you look at the lineup, Nolan, you tried to help him as much as you could last year, so hasn't done this race. Can he do it? 100%. With 40 laps to go, he's going to realize that the race dynamic will change when the veterans. So I'm not sure. Nolan's goal is obviously, we never start a race not to win, but I want him to finish this 500 miles. Christian is in the mix. Christian has not had good cars in the ovals in his previous years, so he's still adapting. And Kyle had a mishap, with his couple crashes, but I think if I had to pick 2 right now, it'll be Kyle and Pato, or Pato and Kyle, but the other 2 will be in the mix, but they have fast cars, but you never know.
Kyle, coming into his second Indy500 start today, a rookie that made some really impressive moves and was really strong at times last year. A couple bungled restarts, that pit lane speeding penalty that ultimately set him back to 18th on a day where he could have easily been in the top 10 and maybe even the top 5. What have you seen from him this month that shows you that he's even better prepared, or just that much better at his racecraft and ready to attack this race today?
Nathan, I talked to him last year. I said, look, the expectation after the race, they all pumped, we're going to come back. I said, look, every year is different, man. You can't, doesn't mean you had a good car last year, you're going to have a good one this year. And I think he kind of found out this year. It's not that we don't have a good car, but hiccups happen. He had such a smooth month in the past. And I think for me, it was working towards, his head saying, hey, you got the experience, but that doesn't mean now you haven't been through everything at this place. So it was an adjustment for him. He's so driven about win, but he drives everything all the time. Like this, just last week he drove 4 different cars. So he gets back and says, "Oh, so what is that button again?" Like he just drove the car. There you go. And his ability to adapt, it's pretty big. So for him, I say some of the surprises that are going to happen in the race for him is going to be in a lot less degree of intensity than it would be for us. But I think he was disappointed at qualifying because he think we were going to go do another run. Weather wasn't good, so we decided not to. So Monday, he was really happy with the car. And then when Pato said in the radio, Kyle and Newgarden are the 2 strongest cars I ran in the pack, and Kyle heard that later, it pumped him up. So we'll see. It's a long race. I told him still the race will start with two pit stops to go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where do you, from a driver's standpoint, and as you're looking at your cars, where do you want to be with, say, 2 pit stops to go? Where is, if you're trying to contend for this race and you're not counting on a race-changing caution or crash, where do you need to be from a benchmark standpoint with, say, 60 laps to go?
Top 5.
Yeah.
And then I have to say 2 stops to go. 3 stops to go, you got to move to top 3. And if it's a green flag, which is always will be, but I'd say no yellow interruption reds, and you have to be in the top 2 or 3. The third guy, I was a third guy 2 years ago, and on the restart I couldn't do anything. So, and the way the cars are difficult to pass with the strategy on the hybrid, top 5 all day, you're safe. After the last stop, you got to be in the top 3.
You mentioned the hybrid. It's new this year. What do you think it's going to look like, and how, from a timing stand and a management engineering, are you going to be able to help your drivers shorten that learning curve and use it as an advantage against the competition?
I mean, I think everybody figured it out already, right? But yes, and that's going to be up to the driver. If you think about, Pato had a little bit of a hiccup in qualifying. Not that he would have improved his position, I think, but he would have qualified a little quicker because he kind of like can't get into much details, but it was his error, and that could cost you the race. So in a drag race like last year in the backstretch, it will play a factor. And I know you know this, but for the people that don't, it's an energy power. It's a battery that gives to the engine, but once you use the battery, it needs to recharge, and recharging actually takes power away from the engine if you're not lifting. Last lap, I don't think anybody will be lifting, so you have to be smart to have it, right? Because if you have to regen, as we call it, the recharge, you don't want to do that.
Do you think if the guy leading is out of power for his lap, guy in second's got a full battery, do you think he can out-drag him to the line?
With no power?
Yeah, no power to full battery.
No, but I think if the guy leading has no power, and the guy in the back uses, when he starts using, I would regen and then try to have a shot. But you don't want to run out of power on the hybrid on the last lap.
So you want to have a couple extra bullets in your belt ready to go coming out of 4.
Yeah, but Charlie, think about this. The way it's tough to pass, when do you use it? Because during the race, guys, we always measure ourselves. If Charlie and I were racing, we'll go, well, I know I'm stronger than Charlie in turn 1, but he's stronger than me in turn 3, and you play those games. But then in the last lap, if your only shot is turn 1 and you know you can't do it, you're going to have to go for it. And that's exactly what Pato did last year, hoping that Newgarden was going to have a little bit of a bigger gap on the lift or so on. So still, it's not that black and white. Yeah. You know, you might save the hybrid, but it might be better not to.
And I mean, we talked about this earlier. I think Pato's strategy last year was the high percentage move, right? I looked at that and said I wouldn't have done anything differently.
So I just explained that on the previous. We knew we were stronger than Newgarden going into 1, but not going into 3. The only chance he had was pass him to 1, kind of tried to take his wing basically put his car in a position that Newgarden had to have a bigger lift in turn 2 to have the gap that he will run out of time to pass.
Right.
So people kept saying, well, he should have waited it. If he had waited, he would have finished second. The only way it was if he didn't lift.
Yeah.
But then maybe the third guy would have won this race.
Yeah.
But
we've both been in that situation, sitting third, hoping first or second makes a bad decision. You're there to pick up the pieces.
I was there when Sato and Dario crashed. Me and Dixon were the next guys. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
at that point when you're third, you're just waiting for something to happen.
Right.
But those two, yeah.
Yeah. My last question for you would talk a lot about Pato. You had a front row seat to watching him finish runner-up in 2022. That was the year you finished third with Chip Ganassi Racing. Came so close, fighting for it in 23. As we mentioned, finished second last year. This combination of experiences over these last 3 years coming so close and ultimately falling short. I know you've had some experiences with that in your career before you broke through in 2013. What lessons and in what ways do you feel like he's even better prepared this year going into this race?
Nathan, we talked about this. I mean, it took me 12 years to do it, and hopefully it won't take him that long. But all you can do is show up every year, put yourself in a contention. And I think that's what I've been working with Pato as far as an advice. That's the only thing I can tell him. I took it every year, privileged to be here, putting myself in a chance to win. It might happen, it might not. If it doesn't, you got to try it again. If it does, you want to do it again. So he's in good spirits. I just saw him this morning. He's really pumped and enjoying it a lot. He's in the state of mind that in my opinion, looking at myself, for 11 years, I really did not enjoy the whole environment, and just it was stressful for me. And the last year that I decided to, the win came, coincidence or not. He's in that stage now, so I'm happy with what I'm seeing, and he's going to go for it. We'll see. The track will always pick the winner.
Yeah, it does. And last one for me. You've got 4 drivers. They've got great experience, but you got a whole team to manage. What advice are you giving these engineers, the mechanics, the crew going over the wall as they get ready for their biggest race of the year as well?
Not to do anything different than we ever done. This is just another race. It's a big one, but we all know what to do. We did our homework. The cars are fast. We made sure everything is in place. Everything else that we can't control, don't worry about it. So my last words this morning to the team was, worry about things you can't control. Don't overdo, don't overreact, and don't forget to enjoy. So I think we're ready. I'm ready. I'm pumped for sellout since 2016. I've been around long enough to actually participate in a field. But, I think we're all feeling it, and I hope these guys out there will feel it as well.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
so much for joining us, Tony. Appreciate it. All right. That's Tony Kanaan, who won this race in 2013. I can't even imagine what this would be like for him to win as a team principal on his first try. He was